I think it's going to be tough for us. Something we're going to analyse and look at the game from the weekend at Brentford. And I think the sad thing about it for Manchester United probably supporters right now is it's not really a shock result now. You look at Man United going to Brentford in the early game of the weekend, and I don't think many people would predict Manchester United to go and win. I don't think they would. Anyone looking at the coupons or whatever they were predicting when they were doing the bets maybe over the weekend. I don't think many people are predicting Manchester United to win at Brentford. And Brentford going into that game, I think, fourth from bottom. And probably that's the sad state of affairs where they find themselves.
Where does the blame lie? Where's the issue? It's not the system. One week we called it Amorim, and now he's saying he doesn't even know which team is going to turn up and he's the manager. That's quite worrying if you're a United fan.
It is worrying, and again, it's something we're going to get into in a bit more detail tonight. But, I mean, the system, you keep talking about the system, it doesn't suit the players that are there. I totally understand that, but the powers that be that employed the manager knew what system he played, and that's what gave him success. So if you've had success as a manager, that's what you're always going to go back to or fall back on when things aren't going well. So I can understand that he sticks with the system because that's his baby, that's his thing, that's what he does. So the people in charge at Manchester United pick the manager who doesn't sort of stand by or signify certainly going forward the traditions of that club going back, I don't know, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, because it's a team, it's a big pitch, fast wingers, and the system he plays just don't employ that at all. So it always felt a strange fit in terms of the system from the very start.
Manchester United still have not managed to collect back-to-back victories under Ruben Amorim. Of the 17 ever-present Premier League teams since he was appointed, Manchester United rank 15th. They've picked up 1 point more than Tottenham, and they're level on points with the next worst West Ham United, who have got an extra game which comes tonight. Then come Wolves. The other point to make is that Wolves have changed their manager, West Ham have changed their manager, Tottenham have changed their manager as well, and then a big gap to Fulham and Everton. So that's the context of his performance as Manchester United manager. And then you look how he's compared with other Manchester United managers since Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge. And many of these haven't been considered successful, but look at the start that he's made. From those first 33 games, he's almost on we almost need another screen to put him on. The margins are absolutely huge, which is why there is so much concern, it feels right now, amongst Manchester United supporters. And here's another one, and this is for even wider context. When you talk about other managers in Premier League history who've been given 33 games and having been appointed in existing Premier League clubs, there aren't actually that many. So we've taken out promoted managers. There aren't many who performed like this. And at the bottom of that list is Steve Keane with Blackburn, 29 points. Roberto Martinez with Wigan, I think this is relevant as well. The clubs they've been in charge of, Dave Merrington at Southampton, Egil Olsen, the Norwegian. You'll remember at Wimbledon, Ozzy Ideas didn't have a great start at Spurs either. I think, Duncan, you were involved.
I was involved in 1988. To be fair, I got sold to Newcastle in 1998, if I remember right.
So of those managers who have been appointed to existing Premier League clubs, he is one of the worst over this time period. Yeah. Do you think that the club is particularly relevant here?
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking Man United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Let's be fair, he's a lucky boy still to be in a job. I think he's got a bit of credit on what he did last year, coming to Man United when they were struggling a wee bit. So he came last year, he didn't really want to come last season. So I think they gave him a wee bit of credit in the bank there. But look, for a team like Man United, did you see the stats? The stats are very obvious. So he's very lucky to stay in his job. But hopefully he gets another few games on, because I always want the managers to stay in their jobs and be successful. But that's not good enough, is it?
Well, it's Sunderland next, and then it's the international break. Why do you think he is still in a job?
I think he's still in a job because I think the powers that be at Manchester United have made that many mistakes so far in the decisions that they've made on and off the pitch that they almost don't want to admit right now that they've made another. And this has been a disaster for Manchester United, but also Ruben Amorim. What he did at Spurs was fantastic. You look like the next big thing as a manager, but bringing a manager like that in terms of the system that he played, I don't think ever really suited the club with the traditions of Manchester United. And the quicker Manchester United make the decision on the manager, I think it's better for everybody. As I said, it's been a disaster for the club, but also the manager. And we're only waiting for the inevitable, I think. Unfortunately, as Duncan's just said, you don't want to see people lose their jobs, but this has to end as quickly as possible.
I think so. I think they are. But I think maybe it's the system. Maybe we talked about the system a lot, don't we? He's not changed the system at all. He's not trying to find a way. When you're losing games, you've got to find a way to win. You just can't keep on going at the same system all the time. You need to try and find a way to win. He's never done that. He's stuck to the same system. He needs to change it a little bit. We're going to have back four. Go back more traditional Manchester United. But to be fair, when they recruited them, they recruited them into play this formation. They know what they're getting. They wanted that formation. They wanted that style of play, and they've got that.
I think you're right. I'm big on that. I mean, I've never been one of them saying he has to change his system. A lot of managers speak and say, I've got a certain the system might change, but my style doesn't. His baby is a system. It's like asking Jurgen Klopp not to press or Pep Guardiola to play short passes through the middle of the pitch. This is what he is. That's on Barada or Jason Wilcox or Jim Ratcliffe. They brought him in. Talking about him changing centre-back, a stat came out that he changed in his 49 games, 42 times he changed the back three. He did that to Lisbon. You knew that when he came in, the power was that big. So that's the big problem there. But the problem, I think, when you look at Ruben Amorim, I think every other Premier League manager would look at Manchester United and think, I could do a better job than that. And the only positive for Manchester United is they haven't gone all in on the system. They've gone all in on them in terms of giving money to spend, but they haven't brought lots of centre-backs, they haven't brought lots of wing-backs. The players they brought in the summer can easily be flipped into a back four, getting Bruno Fernandes as the number 10, Brian Mbeumo right wing, maybe Cunha to the left, Sesko up front, and I think a competent football manager could get that Manchester United team in that system to the European places or certainly fighting for them.
We asked our fans, again, on the Fanalysis app, those verified Manchester United fans, to answer this question on whether he should be given more time, and actually 46% still say, yes, he should. How does this play out, Duncan, if he continues to play the same way, the same tactics?
Well, obviously he's hoping that the results are going to change, aren't they? But these records suggest that they're not going to change. So unfortunately, if he doesn't get the results, he's going to lose his job, isn't he? It's as simple as that, he's going to lose his job. I think 46% of them are Liverpool fans there voting. Just go back in there.
They're all verified Manchester United fans. And I suppose it's something about Manchester United, they do like to stick with the manager, don't they?
Listen, there has been a lot of change. You just highlighted some of those managers, but it wasn't a case of the club were changing managers every 6 months or 12 months. A lot of those managers that we looked at there, Jose, Louis van Gaal, even Oli, you saw them 2 or 3 years, and I think that's a decent enough amount of time for a manager. But Ruben Amorim's probably not been in the job for 12 months yet, but it couldn't have gone any worse. And I feel for him, he's a young manager, had a great start in his managerial career. What he did was really special at Sporting Lisbon. But those results for a club of that stature is just beyond belief. And as I said, you don't want to see anybody lose the job, but I think it's just better for everybody if you shake hands and move on.
Manchester United's all-time leading goal scorer, Wayne Rooney, has launched a withering attack on the club in the wake of their latest defeat. He says the soul has gone from the club and he has no longer any faith in Ruben Amorim to turn it around. The pressure on Amorim has increased following the 3-1 loss at Brentford, their third defeat in the opening 6 Premier League games of the season. Incredibly, United are yet to win consecutive league games since Amorim was appointed almost a year ago. Speaking on his BBC podcast, he said, "It's just not good enough. From the manager, from the coaches, from the players, what is going on at Manchester United? I don't recognise the whole football club. I don't see players fighting. I don't see character. I don't see the desire to win. I don't see ability. I don't see match winners. I go to a game expecting us to lose or maybe pick up a point. There are players that don't deserve to wear that shirt. This is not acceptable, what is going on. I'm not seeing anything which is giving me any confidence. There needs to be big changes, manager, players, whatever that is. Whatever it takes to get Manchester United back. It has to be a message of where this club is going. At the minute we're all sitting there waiting for it to crumble. The culture of that football club has gone. I see it on a daily basis. I see staff losing jobs, people walking out of jobs. I've got 2 kids at that football club, and I really hope this doesn't affect what they're doing. What I'm seeing at that football club is not Manchester United. I honestly hope he can turn it around, and he does. But after everything I've seen, honestly, I've got no faith in it. Wayne Rooney, not the only former United captain to speak out this weekend.
I felt yesterday for the first time, just through instinct, watching it on the television, seeing players' faces, seeing players' body language, that there might be an element of players really doubting the system and what's going on. Ruben Amorim's had a pre-season. He's had a week now in between each of his games nearly, or most of the weeks, because Manchester United aren't in Europe. Yet the performances are as poor as ever. The results are catastrophic, really, in Manchester United terms. I am very, very concerned, I really am. Because the manager's obviously a good coach, he has a great record in Portugal, but it's not clicking at all.
Obviously it doesn't help, but Wayne's doing the job now and he's got to give his opinion. You know, it's a different career path what he's got now, and his opinion is what everyone sees. You know, he's not thinking about for any reason other than they are poor. I'm sure he wants them to be great again. I have no reason for them to want Man United to be great, but I still want the big teams to be the biggest and the best, and they're miles away from that. But Wayne's got an agenda how he wants them to be. He wants them to be better. You can see there, this is not Man United. This is Man United, Wayne. This is for a very long time now. You know, we say this is not Man United what you played in, or what I remember and I played against. They're miles away from that. He's correct with that, but this is Man United for a lot of years now.
The pressure piling onto Amorim then as two legends speak out against him. Tim Sherwood said it's absolutely right that Amorim is under the spotlight and believes he is fortunate to even be in the position he's in at Old Trafford.
When you ask me is he under pressure, I've said no, I feel like he should be. But I don't think he is. I think they will give him this season, I really do. And again, that means he's already been in the job a year. We've seen no improvement. We keep talking about the three at the back. We talked about different personnel coming in, playing staff. He's had the windows to bring the players in. Perhaps he hasn't got what he wants. How many more windows are we actually going to give him? And when are we going to see an improvement, even gradual? We're not seeing anything. We're not seeing no improvement. But all we are seeing a man who sticks his chest out. Certainly in the press conferences, when I see him on the touchline, he's got his head down. He's hiding in the dugout at Grimsby, but when I see him in front of the press, he fronts it up. He looks and he talks brilliantly, but he probably talks so well that he's bluffed his way into a job there at Man United because we're not seeing anything. He's done very well in Portugal. A lot of managers do very well in Portugal. It's an inferior league to the Premier League. You know, where you can build sides on the job. You know, when you're up 3 or 4 games in Portugal, we're really competitive. The other times, you can just play, you can experiment with different formations. Can't do that in the Premier League. You do that in the Premier League, you come unstuck. And that is what he's been doing since he's been at the football club. 34 points in 33 games or something like that. It's not good enough. It's relegation form.